Alcohol is a major controversy throughout the world, especially in the United States. If alcohol isn't handled responsibly, it can lead to inappropriate behaviors, diseases of the respiratory system, accidents caused by fire, drowning, suicides, and homicides. The U.S. government deems alcohol as a drug, which may lead to the use of other drugs. However, countries without a legal drinking age tend to have a lower death rate than those with an age limit. This may be due to the fact that underage drinkers tend to consume alcohol heavily, which leads to more deaths than when drinking responsibly. When there are no laws against consuming alcohol, the people learn to drink responsibly from a young age, rather than being exposed suddenly to alcohol. This is where we derive a controversy. Society can't decide as a whole whether alcohol is more beneficial or harmful for both social and health circumstances.
21.
19.
21.
21.
I'm 19.
Alcohol has been an issue since before we were a nation. In the colonial times, there was an attempt to control excessive drinking in the United States, but nothing really beyond that. Then, in the late 1700s and early 1800s, the temperance movement began. During this time, societies sprung up and were dedicated to reduce this alcohol consumption around our country. Taxes began to come about on whiskey, liquors, imported alcohol, and distilleries, but it did nothing to stop the problem. Some states like Maine attempted to be dry states with no success. Then, in the 1900s, there were real solid attempts made to combat this problem of excessive drinking. With the Volstead Act in 1920, the production, consumption, and sale of alcohol became completely outlawed, but the federal government did little to enforce it. This was the beginning of prohibition, which not only reduced alcohol consumption, but it stimulated organized crime. In 1933, Franklin Roosevelt signed into law an amendment called the Cullen-Harrison Act, which repealed the 18th Amendment. Present day, the production of any alcoholic beverage is still illegal unless it meets several licensing requirements. To help regulate alcohol consumption in minors, states generally decided on a drinking age between 21 and 18. With alcoholism on the rise and claiming the title of fourth largest health problem, more limits to alcohol consumption were created. In 1984, Reagan passed the National Minimum Drinking Ages Act, which set the minimum drinking age to 21. With so many laws in the past, more laws concerning alcohol may continue to be passed.
Yeah, at least once a week.
I do not.
Yeah, not that often.
Yes, often enough.
No.
One of the reasons why alcohol has been a controversy throughout history is because there are many health risks associated with it.
Part of the reason people fear excessive usage of alcohol is all the health effects that are associated with overconsumption. Scientists have proven that cardiovascular disease, inflammation, scarring, and disease of the liver and potential fetal conditions are all directly related to alcohol's effect on the body. In addition, it has been linked to head, neck, stomach, and digestive tract cancers. There is a higher risk for mental and anxiety disorders for those who abuse alcohol. These problems seem like great reasons for the drinking age to remain high so young people are not putting themselves at risk, especially when they may not have full knowledge of these potential problems. However, what's interesting and often not informed to minors is that alcohol actually has some health benefits. The main benefit of low to moderate alcohol consumption is a decrease in the risk of coronary heart disease. In fact, it has been proven that people with no alcohol consumption are at a greater risk for this disease than those who do consume. In addition, for people with normal blood pressure, it has been proven that low to moderate alcohol consumption decreases the risk of ischemic stroke as alcohol lessens damage to the blood vessels. For men, any level of drinking was proven to decrease the risk of death from stroke. In another interesting study, it was found that people consuming 7 or more drinks a week had a 26% decrease for risk of peripheral vascular disease. Overall, there is no denying that alcohol definitely poses some health risks that are extremely dangerous and some young people may not take into account while drinking. However, these studies also show that not all drinking is bad and may actually help to maintain one's health.
I mean, it's fun. Everybody else does it too.
They like the party atmosphere and it's the thing to do.
Socially. I like to drink.
The majority of countries have differing laws on the use and consequences of consuming alcohol.
The countries that ban alcohol altogether include Iran, Libya, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Afghanistan, Brunei, Bangladesh, and Kuwait. Some countries in Europe, such as Albania, France, Greece, Hungary, and Italy, have no age limit for consuming alcohol within the home from childhood. However, some of them do have purchasing ages, such as France. Many countries have the legal drinking age set at 18 and 19 years old, sometimes older, like Australia, Bahamas, Brazil, Canada, China, Egypt, France, Ireland, Kazakhstan, Mexico, Russia, Singapore, Thailand, Turkey, United Kingdom, and Zimbabwe. In some areas of India, the legal drinking age may reach 25 years old. There are only 4 other countries that set the age at 21, other than the United States. They are Fiji, Pakistan, Palau, and Sri Lanka. The reasons for many countries to establish drinking laws are to ensure the safety and responsibility of alcohol consumers and to prevent children from obtaining alcohol. Differences among the laws can be for public versus private drinking, or different laws pertain to the type of alcohol.
Probably not. More harm comes than good. But like you have like that small window of fun, and then like everything usually goes south.
I think it really depends on how responsible people are in their drinking.
Whenever I drink, I don't drink like excessively, so there aren't any risks associated with it. But the risks aren't worth it if you drink excessively.
Yes, obviously the risks of overdoing it and drinking to excess are a lot heavier, and I would say that obviously they're not worth it, but the risks of having a few beers among friends, I think, are absolutely worth it. It's a bonding experience. It's a big part of like just about every society globally, and I think those risks that you would say for moderate drinking, they're absolutely worth it. Yes.
I don't think drinking is a good habit.
There are hundreds of religions worldwide. Each of these religions have a different take on alcohol. Some encourage excessive drinking while others prohibit alcohol altogether. The majority of these religions believe drinking should be done in moderation. Religions that forbid alcohol consumption include Buddhism, Islam, and the Church of Jesus Christ, or Latter-day Saints. These religions generally believe that alcohol contains evil. They believe that alcohol will cause people to stray from the religious teachings or scriptures. Buddhists and Mormons believe that addictive substances or indulgences of any kind is a sin or breaks away from some of the precepts. Some religions do tolerate drinking, such as Catholicism, Protestants, Judaism, and Hinduism. In the Bible, there is scriptural support for moderate drinking. However, Hindu scriptures do not mention condemning or prohibiting alcohol. Sometimes the use of wine is incorporated into religious ceremonies. For example, Protestants believe that drinking wine in church is a symbol of Jesus' sacrifice. Judaism incorporates wine during the Passover Seder and view wine as a blessing. Every Sabbath includes a blessing of meals with a glass of wine as well. Just like religion, see how drinking is treated in different ways in pop culture.
I think it can definitely be a problem.
Sometimes students think it's not just because it's constantly talked about, but I think that it is a big deal because it does have a lot of health risks, and I've known students who have been sent to the hospital for alcohol poisoning, so it's not worth it.
Not really.
It depends how much you drink.
Obviously, if you're getting sloppy all the time, that's a big deal because that has obvious and serious consequences. But do I think it's a big deal to drink casually and lightly and responsibly? Absolutely not.
In 1960, there was a correlation between an increase in alcohol advertising and an increase of 50% per capita of alcohol consumption. From 1970 to the early 1980s, alcohol advertisements were omnipresent on American television. Alcohol was the country's most popular beverage to drink. Advertisements today cannot show actual alcohol consumption. They can only be placed in the media where 70% of the audience is over the legal drinking age. The advertisements are not supposed to be designed to appeal to those who are underage. However, there are many TV shows for young adults and teens in which the use of alcohol is portrayed, such as Degrassi, Family Guy, Glee, Gossip Girl, Jersey Shore, Pretty Little Liars, South Park, That 70s Show, The Simpsons, and many more. Most of these shows depict the outcome of such heavy drinking but glamorize it all the same.
Yes. I would say 19. After high school, going into college.
Not really, we'll get around it anyway.
Yes, I think that 18 is definitely a reasonable age. We're the only country that really doesn't do that.
In today's society, people are constantly exposed to alcohol. While many countries and religions have different policies, the health effects are the same. Different people have different upbringings, which in effect causes them to have different views on how alcohol should be treated.
Responsibility.